Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos, hoping that you're doing well this morning on it's already a Tuesday, the last day of July. And ladies and gentlemen, football season's here, and we got quite a treat for you today. Coach Neal Brown will be on our show, and want you to call in. You'll have an opportunity to call in and ask him questions and so forth. And as football season is here, and of course, Troy gets ready for all the action coming up with with practice starting on Friday. But of course, most of the players are already in camp, getting ready, and going through a lot of other things that have to be done. One of it's school and getting ready for that. And, of course, a lot of them finishing up a few things at home before they report. I think they're supposed to report, I want to say, tomorrow. And by then, that'll be another 100 or so more people in Troy, Alabama. And then, of course, with the band coming on in for their deal, and that's another 400. So the population of Troy is fixing to really be enhanced with another 8,000 students. And that's something that's fixing to come in on us within the next week or so. I want to mention a few things. The Messenger has started its football season off in a bang yesterday. Pike Liberal Arts had their picture day. Last Friday, Charles Henderson had their picture day. We didn't get out to Pike Liberal Arts. We didn't know exactly when or where it was going to be, and that's my fault, I reckon. And we didn't get out to their annual meet, the Patriots Day, but we hope to, if they'll allow us to, go in and get some work done and interview some of those players within the next few days. Coach Neal Brown is walking into the building, and we're on Laid Back Television on Facebook, Coach, around the world on Facebook this morning. Good to see you, my friend.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And, of course, Coach Brown's about as busy as you can get. Look, here's the Troy football schedule if you don't know about it.
It is football season.
Grab that mic right there, Coach, and we'll be having some people call in, too. Coach Brown has allowed us to bring him in here for an interview, and we've got a call right here. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
Got Coach Neal Brown on the show this morning, and, of course, looking forward to the football season. Coach, I know you got to be excited. Let me just tell you this. Yesterday, around noon, I was just going through the channels, and bang, ESPN had the Troy LSU game on.
Well, I actually watched it too.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Mike, did you watch it?
I was working. I didn't have a chance to look at it, but I had a bunch of friends posting on Facebook.
Oh, man, Coach, it was wonderful, man.
Yeah. Well, it was funny, Mike. I was watching it. I was actually in Kentucky yesterday with some family. And I had my 3-year-old Dax, and he was really confused because Daddy was sitting in the living room, but Daddy was on TV, so he was confused. But that was fun, but I actually did. I watched the fourth quarter there.
And to watch it again, excuse my language, we beat hell out of them, Coach.
We did.
We beat them up front. We knocked them off the ball. I mean, if Chun doesn't fumble late in the ball game, it's a 31-17 game.
Well, it's really more than that, Mike, because we fumbled going in.
That's right.
All right, which would have given us another touchdown with 31. But plus, we fumbled coming out and gave them a touchdown. Yeah. So really,
yeah,
it was
right. That was where the guy just reached in. That was close, you know. He reached in and pulled it out, you know. But what a game, and you know.
I still can't believe they let us come back out and kick that field goal before the half.
Yeah, Coach. You know, they showed that over and over. You were adamant about it, and I could tell that you knew something. But now when he went down, it was 2 seconds left.
Yeah. So what the rule in that play is when we coach it. It's an end of a half, end of a game play. And John Johnson, Troy's very own John Johnson,
Yeah.
we ran a dig route. He came across the middle, caught the ball, knew he wasn't going to score. So what we were going to do was catch the ball, take a knee. No, we didn't have any timeouts.
yeah, okay,
so we were going to catch the ball, immediately take a knee, and then we've got a win play, what we call a win, W-I-N, and that's a play that you run. All right, it's an automatic, one word, one formation, one play that we run at the end of the game or end of a half situation, and the officials just missed it. They let the clock run down, and the clock's supposed to be dead. So we took advantage of that.
So really, once his knee went down, the whistle blows, and
it's dead. And then they set the chains.
Yeah.
They set the chains. And what they'll do is the center judge, which is the eighth official, he'll hold them. As soon as the chains are set, he winds the clock, and you train your offense to snap the ball as soon as
because as soon as he clocks it in, you got to go and do it.
It does. But what happened on that play was the officials, I don't know if it's officials or it's a play clock guy, he didn't stop the clock. Yeah. So what happened is we were able to come out and put our field goal team on with the same exact situation.
Yeah.
So the center judge, when he wound the clock to start it, we snapped the ball on the whistle and got the field goal, hit the crossbar, and the rest kind of history.
It was big. Ladies and gentlemen, Neal Brown's, of course, this is your fourth season? Fourth season, and of course the last two have been remarkable years. 10-2 and 11-3.
No, 10-3, then
11-2. 11-2. And those wins, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 2 years, you're the eighth team in the country as far as most wins.
We are in the eighth most wins in college football, and the only teams that really won more games than us are kind of the who's who of college football. You had Alabama, you have Clemson, you have Wisconsin, Penn State. I think USC is in that mix. So it's really, I can't rattle off all of them, but it's really kind of some of the who's who of college football.
Yeah. Of course, I know you've been busy all summer, and you have camps, and people don't realize how you enhance our economy when you bring in all these camps. Now, the first of the summer, you had, I know, before I left to go to see the baseball team play up at Georgia, you had 400
we did.
400 at your first camp.
We've almost had 2,500 high school age players roll through.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is huge for our economy. I'm telling you, they have to spend money. Of course, y'all feed them probably.
No, we don't. We actually don't. All the money.
So they have to eat here.
Yeah, we try to keep them cost minimum. We charge, I believe it's $30 and for a kid to come to camp. And when our team camp, it's down. I think it's $20. And we do feed them for our team camp, but over. I think almost 2,500 guys that came through, and you're right, it is a boost to the economy. A lot of those students are paying for hotel rooms the night before. Every one of them are eating, getting gas, etc.
They bring a lot of parents with them. It's just a huge boost for our economy.
The percentage of the guys you end up signing, how many of those guys attend your camp?
We've signed every high school kid with the exception of one. In our last 3 signing classes has came through our camp. So it's huge. And it's basically, they're evaluation camps. Unfortunately, we do a good amount of teaching in our youth camp. But the camps that are offered now are really evaluation camps. So everybody that comes to our camp it wants to be evaluated in hopes of earning a Division I scholarship, and so it's not just rising seniors. It's everybody from a rising freshman to a rising sophomore coming, and we build our list. But we're only, for the most part, there are a few rare exceptions. But for the most part, we're only going to sign those guys that show the effort and show that the interest in Troy is so strong that they come to our camp.
Now, you had a camp last week for half a day, and you had about 200 kids. Now, those were sort of a select camp. Is that right?
Well, not really, Mike. The way the NCAA does it, they all have to be open now. So, and really, we had closer to 300 here on last Thursday morning, and we had.
I didn't know the exact.
Yeah, number. we had six local high school teams that participated in what they call an OTA workout on Wednesday. So we had a lot of really good players here. Charles Henderson was here, and I appreciate Brad bringing his team, and I'm excited about, they practice over there a lot, and I know he feels good about his team, and deservedly so. He's doing a really good job. but Opelika High School was
Yeah,
there.
that's a
Greenville
good
High
program,
School,
yeah.
Greenville High School was
Greenville
there.
a good program.
Enterprise.
Man, yeah, I tell you what, you
yeah.
can recruit from those guys.
Yeah, a lot of really good, and I think a lot of really good coaches there too. But the camps are a tremendous tool for us, not just to evaluate can they play, but can they listen?
Yeah.
Are they coachable? What kind of guy are they? But they've been a huge tool for us.
No question about it. And of course, Coach Phil Steele's out.
He does a good job with those
And
magazines.
of course, Phil Steele's magazine's out. I haven't picked it up yet, but Steve ran off some things. Got Arkansas State ranked 25th in the country, Coach.
And they, in Ark State, and they were picked to win our league too. And I think part of that is they're one of the few teams. Really, Arkansas State and Louisiana Monroe are the only two teams that are returning quarterbacks that have played significant and been productive. So
And Hanson, their quarterback, supposed to be one of the best in the country.
he is. He really signed. He's an older guy. He goes back to really my last year at Texas Tech.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, with my last year at Texas Tech, he's from Edmond, Oklahoma. I remember him coming out. He signed with OU.
Yeah.
And then went to Butler Junior College, and he's since went to Arkansas State. So they got a lot of excitement. I think that they've done a good job. Obviously, we had a great game with them and a kind of a pseudo championship game last year. So, the preseason magazines have for what we've been able to accomplish over the last 2 years, the preseason magazines, I think, are.
But something about you that I like. You read them. I mean, somebody say, "Oh, I don't look at that stuff."
I look.
But this is fun. This is fun to look at. And
I look at them. We use them a little bit as a motivation.
And I tell you, Field and Street and Smith came out. I thought they had a real good magazine this year, and they're one of the oldest in the bunch, and they liked you quite a bit. And of course, there you are, Coach. Does that look like you or not?
Yeah, I think that picture was when we weren't very good. I think it was in our first season.
But a 25-13 record's not bad to start your fourth year, and of course, you're going into a season with two young quarterbacks. But But I don't know why I'm so confident that these guys are going to do the job. But what is your feeling?
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in them. More importantly, our players have a lot of confidence in those guys. And it's really a unique battle in the fact that both of them have been the backup at some point in their career. Both of them have played a lot of meaningful football just because we've been intentional about playing our backup quarterback in all our non-conference games really over the last 2 seasons. So they're going to be different than Brandon. It's like I was saying, I think the preseason magazines are, I think Brandon obviously was a great quarterback here, did a tremendous job. Jordan Chun was one of the best players ever played here.
He had a great game against LSU.
He did. But I really feel like that we've recruited well enough that we're going to be able to overcome those losses. Not to mean that we won't miss them, not to mean that we're going to replace them with better players. Just I think that we can overcome through recruiting. But quarterback's a huge question for us. I have a lot of faith in Sawyer Smith and Caleb Barker. We're going into this battle. We'll start practice on Friday, and hopefully within the first couple of weeks, one of those guys really rises to the top.
Now, I know that you keep up with pretty much everything, and, of course, nobody runs a practice better than you do. In fact, you're mic'd up and you control practice. But you've got a person watching, almost checking off on almost every pass and every catch.
Yeah,
You know exactly who's catching the most passes and who's completing the most passes. Is that right?
Yeah, we kind of use it as competition. That's one of the things we really pride ourselves on, and within our program is based around competition. And we've got a quarterback competition, and we track everything. We track wins and losses, and every competition. We're going to track who scores the most points, whose completion percentage is the highest, who's making the best decisions, and same with receivers. We really talk to those guys about a 90% catch rate, Mike. So we want to catch 9 out of our 10 balls. We feel like if we do that, we're going to be ahead of the curve, and so. You got to inspect what you expect. Yeah. So the only way to inspect that is to keep those charts, and we've got some young guys on our staff that do a great job with that.
Back to the quarterbacks, Caleb Barker and Sawyer Smith. Caleb comes from a little town south of Huntsville called Priceville, who's not known for their football playing. But I tell you, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but Rick Rhodes' son Bobby was coaching, and they played this guy, Mike. And what did Rick Rhodes say about this guy, Mike?
They said he was the best high school quarterback in Alabama they'd seen since Tyler Watts. But he coached Tyler Watts at Pelham.
Yeah, but that's what Rick. And Rick does a lot of.
Yeah, well, he knows a lot of football, and he gets around and sees quite a bit. He's on the school board there in Pelham,
That's right.
so he gets to see a lot of high school football, and Caleb Barker and I think he's kind of a throwback in a lot of ways, because now with the way everything's so publicized, a lot of those guys in those small towns leave and go to bigger schools. He stayed right there in his hometown.
But now it didn't hurt that he was injured mostly his senior year, wasn't he?
No, he got injured his junior year.
Junior year.
Yeah, so what he did is he came and he started as a sophomore and won the most games they've ever won at Priceville.
Yeah.
Got hurt his junior year, and the bottom dropped out of it. Well, he comes back his senior year and sets the wins record again, and then Priceville's really struggled since he left. And what I think that shows is his ability level. I mean, he completely he carried that program for lack of a better word during the 2 years he was able to start.
Yeah. Well, they look at him, and he reminds me of Johnny Manziel. Now, I don't know why.
He's not going to be off the field, but he does create. I think.
Coach, isn't he one of the fastest players on the team?
He is. He's one of the better athletes on our football team. He's about 6 foot, 6'1.5" probably. He's anywhere from 200 to 210 pounds.
I mean, he's not scrawny at any.
No, he's strong, and he's built like a receiver. A safety. I mean, he's an athletic kid. He's somebody when you walk in, you're going to say
he looks like he's at top speed in just a second.
He is. He's really quick, and he's a good athlete. That's the thing about him and Sawyer. Both of them are going to add a different dimension. Like Caleb is really fast, but Sawyer is really a better natural runner. And Sawyer is almost 225 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
And Sawyer took Tate High School, who's got a solid program.
Sure.
But he took those guys all the way to the state semifinals as a sophomore. I mean, as a senior, and they play American Heritage down there. And Tate's got 2 Division I players, and then they had another receiver that went to App State. They got 2 Division I players. American Heritage probably got 20, and they lead them. He beat Niceville in the regional.
Coach, I cannot see anything wrong at all with playing 2 quarterbacks.
Well, I think
because these both are almost equal talent.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to have somebody that's a clear winner, and that's going to be the starter. I think you got to have a clear pecking order. Now, if you pay attention to what we've done over the last 2 years, we've been intentional about playing our number 2 quarterback, and I think you have to be, because you got to prepare for your worst case scenario. Yeah. And I did not do a very good job of that in 2015. Brandon Silvers gets hurt against Mississippi State. Remember, we played that brutal. We played Wisconsin, or we played North Carolina State, Wisconsin, Mississippi State, 3 games within a 4-week period. Exactly. And Brandon gets hurt versus Mississippi State. And I did not do a very good job playing our backups, and it ended up costing us a game because we lose to Idaho. We beat Idaho. We might have gone to a bowl game our first year here in 2015. So after that, Sawyer was the backup as a true freshman in 2016. He played in every game. He played against Clemson. Threw an interception versus Clemson.
And Sawyer seems to be more of a controlled as far as running the offense. It seems like he's a leader, a real leader type.
He is. And the guys. Really, he's one of our hardest workers. He's probably had one of the best off seasons of anybody. I'm talking about winter and summer of anybody in our program. But once that was a learning lesson, and we've been intentional about playing our backup, and we're going to do that this year. Whoever's the second guy is going to play a lot, especially in those non-conference games.
Of course, another thing.
Who's behind them? You got any other guys?
Gunnar Watson is a true freshman. He was our quarterback that we signed in the class of 18, and I'm fired up about him. He's big kid, got a really big arm. He's from Butler, Georgia. Taylor County High School, was a really sought-after baseball player as well, and he's came in over the summer.
Are you going to let him play baseball too?
No, he's not going to. Well, I don't know if he's a good baseball player. You got to, you got
to be pretty good to play Troy,
Coach Smart's got his team. You got to be an elite player at both sports to be able to play both in college. But I like him. We are in good hands future-wise with Gunnar Watson on the roster.
Coach, I was just looking at and I've got your roster here, Coach. You know the thing about it, you can go to your computer and get anything you want,
good or bad.
and it's great to be able to look down your roster. And now the other place that concerns me a little bit is the running back, as far as having a lot of experience.
Yeah, well, what we've got to do is we're going to be more by committee than we have been. And Jordan gets a lot of attention for graduating and moving on to the Cowboys, and rightfully so. And Jordan, and we talked about the LSU game. He had a tremendous game, but also Jordan was banged up a lot last year.
Yeah, he was.
You know, and really Josh Anderson was our leading rusher over the last 7 games of the season.
And he was a load, man.
He was. So
wouldn't you love to have him?
We would, and he. So we're going to miss both those guys. We're going to be a little bit more by committee. I think B.J. Smith coming out of the spring would be the starter if we play tomorrow. And he's a guy that's been one of our best special teams player. He's well rounded. He's not flashy. He's just consistent. And then Jamarius Henderson's he's the big question mark at that position. He showed some really big bright spots a year ago. As a redshirt sophomore, he's going to be a redshirt junior. Obviously, he was the state's all-time leading rusher at one point.
Well, Coach, I think he holds the all-time rushing record in the state of Alabama, 3,600 yards this thing a year.
He did. He's a guy that we need to take the next step. And I mean that. He has the ability to do that. He's been in our program now going on his 3rd season. And it's time, and he could really be a difference maker for us on offense.
Yeah, and of course he's he's the kind of talent that could have a future ahead of him.
He could. He's his ability, his speed, his power. What he's got to do is he's had the injury bug. He's got to overcome some minor injuries that have slowed him down, and he's got to stay healthy and be able to play more plays in a row than he did last season.
Now, Coach, I don't know where I've been, but
did you all sign a kid out of Scottsboro a couple years ago? Is he still there?
We did. He's going to be a redshirt freshman. His name's D.K. Billingsley. He played for Patrick Nix at Scottsboro, and he's got a chance he got a lot of carries in the spring, so we had some guys hurt. He's probably a year away from being one of our main ball carriers.
Well, Coach, I don't know where I've been, but where did Sidney Davis come from?
He is a receiver, Dad.
Yeah.
No, he got him listed as a halfback here.
Yeah, no, that's our H position.
Right, okay,
Sidney he was banged up a little last year. He was 84 2 years ago now. Yeah. He changed number to 6, and if you remember back in 16, he had the big game winning catch or really got us in position to score the game-winning touchdown versus South Alabama and App State. So, yeah, he's one of the most steady guys we have on the offensive side.
Well, what about Fry? Is Fry still is he back healthy?
Fry is completely his ACL injury that he suffered at the end of 2016. He's healed there. He had to have shoulder surgery about midway through the spring, so he's going to be kind of limited going through fall camp. We feel like he'll be released to play in the first game.
But, and of course, everybody remembers him breaking clean against Georgia and outrunning everybody for a touchdown.
Against Clemson.
Yeah, against Clemson. Yeah. That's right, against Clemson. Coach, of course, you look at your offense and with a quarterback and with running backs. So this is really the first year you're really sort of unsure about your quarterbacks and your running backs.
It is. And if you look at kind of I think Troy, and maybe as coaches and as fans, we're probably a little spoiled. You go back to you go back to 2006, and we really only had 4 starting quarterbacks. You had Omar Hagebrook in 06 and 07.
Yeah.
All right. You had Levi Brown, 08 and 09.
I love him.
And then you had Corey Robinson, 2010 through 2013.
Well, those are good quarterbacks.
And then you had Brandon Silver. So you got 5 quarterbacks, really going back to 2006.
Mike, you couldn't ask for better quarterbacks, could you?
I know. It seemed like Corey Robinson was there for about 10 years.
Yeah, he and Silver's both.
And I think when people look back on his career, they say, gosh, 13,000 yards or something like that.
Yeah, he had a tremendous career.
That is unbelievable.
Really unfortunate that he was there in a run where we're a little bit dry, where his talent, he didn't experience as many wins as some of those other guys. You think about it, Omar Hagebrook wins 2 conference championships, was conference player of the year. Levi Brown wins 2 conference championships. He's conference player of the year. Mm-hmm. And then it goes to Corey, and Corey was a conference player of the year, but he never experienced a championship.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he did. He won one in 2010, his first year starting. Mm-hmm. So, and then Silver's being able to go on the run we've had the last 2 years. Those guys, are really proven. So this is the first time we've had a true quarterback competition going back a long ways.
Sort of exciting.
What's amazing to me, I told Dad, I mean, to have all these great teams the last 2 years, go 10-3, go 11-2, and then in the draft, I guess technically you've only had one guy get drafted in Garcia. Has that surprised you as far as some of these guys not getting drafted?
I think it's the NFL is the best way I can tell you is it is. There's 32 teams. There's 53 people that are on a game day roster. It's just hard. I mean, that's why you're going to see.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
These new football leagues are going to have. They're going to have a lot of really good players in it. The Birmingham's having a team in the new league. The XFL start back.
I think that's going to be exciting.
It is, and it gives guys an opportunity to play because it is really difficult in that league. We've had one player. We really had one player drafted over the last 2 years, and we've won 21 games.
Yeah.
And we've arguably been one of the top 25 to 30 programs in the country over the last 2 years.
You think Chun will make it?
I think he's got a really good opportunity. Without
when he's healthy,
he does. I think
he's a beast.
If he can stay healthy and I haven't seen him in a few months, so if his body's in really good shape, I think he's got an excellent chance. And I think he is an NFL player. I think Brandon Silvers in the right system is going to be. I think he has NFL talent. I think some of it's just the where you get picked.
Yeah.
I do think that we've been, even though we had a lot of seniors last year, a lot of our NFL caliber players, a lot of those guys, our last two senior classes were really good college players that were kind of glue guys. Some of our higher ranked NFL type guys were guys that are underclassmen, and we have guys in the senior class. Trayvon Sanders is our starting nose tackle. He can be a difference maker.
Beast.
He's got an opportunity to be a drafted kid. Blaze Brown is the highest ranked NFL player we have currently. So just some guys like that that are.
How's his health coming off his knee injury?
Yeah, he's running full speed. We'll be careful with him during fall camp, but I plan on him being ready to go against Boise.
Coach, people don't realize how important it is to to watch these players and realize they do have a redshirt year and so forth. Let's take for instance John Johnson, who I thought played a brilliant ball game against LSU, and he won with about 2 or 3 plays. He caught the pass for the half, but he also caught a big onside kick and got drilled.
He did,
and he held on to it. But
it's funny you say that because I was watching that game yesterday, and John graduated on Friday. I'm really proud of him. He graduated on Friday, and I think everybody talks about losing Chun, losing Silvers, but John played really big for us last year, and he was so intelligent.
He
played Charles Henderson High School, but he was so versatile for us. He was a huge special teams player for us. He knew and as an intelligent football player, he knew all the receiver positions so we could move him around. And you think about some of the big wins we had, against LSU, he caught a couple screen passes that were huge. He caught the dig ball right before half. Okay, huge play. Catches the onside kick and gets drilled. All right, which clinched the game. And then in the New Orleans Bowl, he comes up huge. He has a touchdown. He catches a 2-point conversion. I mean, I was sitting there watching that.
But what I'm saying though, you look back and said he could have
redshirted him.
Redshirted him.
Yeah, now I wasn't here.
And that's a mistake everybody makes. I mean, you don't know for sure, but you look back and say, "Gosh, I wish I'd redshirted him."
You do, yeah, and I think that's the case across the board. I mean, you never know, and I think we always err on what's the best for the player. But I would tell our guys, we got to make the best decision for the whole organization. And if the best decision for the whole organization is you have to play, then you have to play. Now we're gonna try to do what's right by you. But yeah, obviously John's a guy that we'd like to have back for another year. Emmanuel Thompson's another guy. He didn't play much his first year.
Yeah. And he was solid too. Wasn't
he was. He was
you're a big fan of the new rule where you can play up until 4 games.
Yeah, I think it's a great rule. I think what it does, it gives kids hope. And I talk about that in our staff meetings all the time. The worst thing you can ever do is take away a player's hope. And what it does is it gives these guys we don't necessarily call them redshirt, we call them guys that are developmental. So we've always had a developmental program where we do those guys that are in our developmental program, basically they lift like it's off season during the entire fall. So they're 4 days a week lifting, and when I say lifting, I'm talking about they're in a growth mode, trying to increase their strength and body mass. And then we play what we call Monday Night Football, where we allow those guys to scrimmage every Monday night. And so now what it's going to do is it's going to give those guys that are really paying the price and are really making gains in that Monday Night Football, that are really developing, those guys now will be able to have some hope that they can get in some games early in the year. Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, is what it's going to do is it's not going to force you to burn a guy in a 1 or 2 game situation.
Coach, I'm more and more impressed with Matt Moore every day. I mean, he wasn't supposed to have a line, offensive line, that was going to knock LSU off the ball. And, I mean, they literally knocked him off the ball. Coach, is he an outstanding coach, or are y'all recruiting great players, or are you developing players?
Well, I think at offensive line you have to develop. Now, Matt's tremendous, and I think what he's done, our stats speak for ourselves. We led the country in least amount of sacks 2 years ago. I think we were 6th in the country last year. And he's led all of college football 3 different times in his career, his lowest number of sacks. And I think that speaks to him, and he's really developing too. He's our offensive coordinator now, and that's a position that he definitely earned. So he's a tremendous coach, but I think he's done a great job from an evaluation. Is because we got the most talent we've ever had on the offensive line, and the offensive line is the hardest spot to recruit.
Oh yeah.
And we have 4 out of our 5 starters back. Okay, so we have a right tackle, J.O. Gaston, a right guard, Tristan Crowder is an NFL prospect. At center, Deontay Crumdy is going to be a 4-year starter.
And he's a great player.
He's on the Remington Award list, watch. Yeah. And left guard, Kirk Kelly, who's another NFL prospect.
6'4", 310.
And so, and 3 of those guys were all league players a year ago.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Of course, Gaston, I'm sure it weighs a lot more than that. He had him at 6'4", 295. But then Crowder 6'4", 314. Deontay Crumdy weighs 296, bless his heart. And Kirk Kelly weighs 310. So you got a big front.
And they're athletic. But now what's the difference is we've got 8 to 10 guys that can really play up there. And if you can rotate those guys in, especially early in the season, you establish quality depth.
Coach, the country is full of wide receivers. The country is full of even quarterbacks at some level, and they're full of running backs, but they're not full of Division I offensive linemen.
No, that's right. They're hard to find.
Those are the ones that are hard to find.
And at Troy, you got to grow and develop them. I think our strength coach, Raphael Horton's done a great job of that. We've done a really good job identifying bodies that we feel like can grow. You look at J.L. Gaston.
Exactly.
J.L. was 250 pounds. Austin Stidham
came out of a private school too, Monroe Academy. Yes, sir.
From Monroeville, and you look at Austin Stidham. Austin Stidham, if we played tomorrow, would be our starting left tackle, and we signed him in February of 2017, and he weighed 240 pounds, and now he's 305 pounds.
Well, you guy that's playing in the pros. I remember when he reported 6'4", about 235, 240, and ended up weighing 310.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so you got to project these guys.
Is his health better, Coach? He had some health issues.
He did. He had a real unfortunate and really had a rare type of lung disorder that caused him to miss last season. But
who was that?
Antonio Garcia.
Oh, yeah, Garcia, yeah.
And the Patriots cut him, and now he's with the New York Jets. And my understanding is they've been in camp for about a week, and he's been solid so far, so we're really pulling for him.
He just knows how to play the game. Some people, and that left tackle is the most, probably, they're multimillionaires. They were all of them. You don't find good left tackles.
No, you're right, and they're high paid for a reason.
Yeah.
And so I think he has all the tools to be a quality NFL player.
Coach, you actually, for really the first time since you've been there, had a pretty good bit of coaching changes. You brought some new guys in. Tell us about them.
So yeah, we've been fortunate. I think we've hired really well. I think that the success we've had has helped us in that. We have a culture here that people want to be part of. We lost our director of football operations, Todd Watson, who did a tremendous job.
Yeah.
He went to Tennessee and hired Mark Perry, who's
he went to the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, and we hired Mark Perry in that role, and that's I don't think the common fan understands what a critical role that operations job is.
I really liked him.
He's great. He did a great job for us, and we hired Mark Perry, who's doing a quality job and long time. He's a former college coach, long time high school coach, and then on the offensive side, we brought back Sean Dawkins as our running back coach. He played here when we went on our initial run. He was a multiple state champion at Parkview High School. He's a tough guy, really good recruiter.
Parkview's out of Atlanta, one of the strong teams.
It is. He's adding some toughness to that room. He's going to do a really good job for us. We hired Brian Blackman, who was at Auburn, working for Gus Malzahn in an off-field role. Previous to that, he was the head coach at Opelika High School and was the president of the Coaches Association, and he's really solid additional help us in the state of Alabama. And then on defense, we hired Brandon Hall, who was the defense coordinator at Jacksonville State, and Jacksonville State has had a lot of success at the FCS level.
You mean he was the coordinator at Jacksonville? I didn't realize that.
So that was a huge addition for us too. So I think that turnover when you have success is going to happen. I don't think it's something that needs to be seen as necessarily negative. I think anytime you have turnover, it allows new people to come in your organization. You get new ideas. I think people get refreshed. So we're excited. We're all together during the spring, and so we have good expectations coming in the fall.
How good is DeAndre Douglas?
I think DeAndre can be as good as he wants to be. I think last year, even though he had 2 game winners, got a game winner versus Akron and a game winner versus Arkansas State, but I really think he probably underachieved on the as a whole, and I think he would tell you the same thing.
All right, now last year you took 10 to 12 receivers to every game. How many will you take this year?
It will be in that number, and what we do have is we've got a core there that are really experienced. DeAndre, I think, is ready to have a bounce-back year. I think he has an opportunity to be an NFL-type player. Damian Willis had a huge bowl game. I think you're going to see he's a junior college player going into his second year. I think he'll have a big year. And I think another guy that's going to have a huge jump is Sam Letton, our tight end. Yeah. And he's played a lot for us 2 years. He's changed his body. I think he's really ready to make a big jump.
Coach, wait a minute, Coach. You're not telling me you're fixing to start throwing to the tight end.
Well, he came in as an inside receiver. We've really grown him. He's going to be 225 pounds.
Yeah.
He's got a chance, I think, to really be an all-conference type player.
You got
the kid that caught all the deep balls last year, 13. I can't think of his name.
Trey Eford.
Boy, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's the fastest guy we have, probably on our entire team.
And people, and when I say this, Barker is right on his toes. Barker, the quarterback, can fly, Coach.
He can run. He can run. He can't run like Eford, but he can run.
I mean, if they got the foot race, though.
All the time, and I talk to just friends of mine, and we can't let you go about talking about your defense coordinator and what a job Vic Tony's done for you.
Vic's done tremendous. He if you look at what we went from a program going back in 2014 that was one of the bottom 5, I think, defenses in the country in a lot of statistics, and that was over a 3 or 4 year period too. I mean, really struggled defensively for whatever reason, and now to look what Vic's done, especially over the course of the last 2 years, and we've really become one of the top defenses in the country, and he's really innovative. We're different, and a lot of it too is my belief as a head coach is that you have, we talk about 4 things to our plan to win: play great defense, win the turnover margin, all right, be great on special teams, and then the final one is red zone scoring. Scoring touchdowns on offense, and then on defense.
He's ranked
number 1. Yeah, we were number one in the country in red zone defense, and we've been consistent. Yeah. And I think as we go into this fall, as our quarterbacks and our running backs kind of find their way early in the season, defensively they're going to have to really carry us.
How does a young man like Hunter Reese come to Troy, and now he's an All-American type? He's on some All-American lists. Yeah. Give us the history of Hunter Reese.
So Hunter Reese came, and he was on
out of Wetumpka.
Yeah, and Shane Watson, who was here and retired a couple years. Now he's head coach of Faulkner, but he recruited him as a walk-on from Wetumpka High School. Coach Blakeney's last year. He was a walk-on safety, and we had some injuries there in the spring, of 2015, Tyler Roberts was injured
Yeah.
and didn't go through
And
spring
he
ball.
just like Tyler Roberts.
They're very
They're
similar.
almost identical.
Yeah, they're really similar. And so we moved him down and played him in that bandit position on the line of scrimmage, and he got better. Really gave Tony Garcia a lot of issues early. And
Is it so quick or is he smart?
he's
What's the
both.
deal?
He's both. He's really slippery. We use him a lot of different ways as far as line movements and off the edge. And he's slippery. He's really intelligent. But here's the thing, old-fashioned hard work is what made him. You know, he weighed 190 pounds
Yeah.
the spring of 15, and now you're going into the fall of 18, he's 225, 230
And
pounds.
Coach, he was all conference. I mean, he was all
First team all conference.
I mean, first team.
In preseason, first team all conference going into the fall. And
Yeah.
a lot of credit, I think he would tell you the same thing. A lot of his production is because, and he and Tron Folsom's another guy who's our leading tackler from last season coming back, is those guys have really benefited by Vic Koenig, because Vic's put them in a position to be successful and really utilize their talents.
I tell you somebody else that's really a good football player, who is a hard-nosed football player, and he almost dominated LSU, was this Rucker kid, Coach. He is an assassin, Coach.
Sedarius Ruckert is really
He's your hard-nosed guy, isn't he?
he's our big-time hitter in secondary. He's a guy that's been a 3-year starter, played a lot as a true freshman.
He's the one that stood the running back
Yeah,
for LSU to shoot straight up, and they fumbled
did.
early in the game.
Yeah, he did. He really had a big hit there.
But he
early.
made the hits all day long.
He did. He's a good player, and I think that he only made second team all conference, which I think he's one of the top one or two safeties in our league. So I think at the end of the season, if he plays like he should and like he's capable of, he'll be a first team all
Let me
conference
tell you
player.
a little story, quick story, Coach. His mama, they're from South Carolina.
They are?
And, I do bus trips and so forth, and she goes on a lot of buses. Coach, they'll drive all night long. They'll leave Friday, and they'll drive all night long just to catch the bus to drive all night long to the game or whatever. But
Mom
they're
and the
great.
grandma. The grandma
And the
really
grandma.
supportive family.
Coach, that mama of his is just wonderful.
Yeah, they are.
Their family is wonderful. And you got a lot of stories like that, don't you?
They are, and I think what happens is people don't understand some of the sacrifice the families go through.
They work, and then they get off work, and they drive all night long.
Yeah, they do. and the mom, and I was saying his grandmother goes a lot too now. His grandmother is at almost every game.
Exactly.
So he's got a lot of support. But I think he's really grown up a lot on and off the field. I think he's ready to have a big time year.
And you can't help but notice this nose tackle, and being able to put pressure on the quarterback is very important, and especially in these days and times. But this kid, this Trevon Sanders, where did y'all get him?
He's South Carolina too. He's from right outside Charleston, and he's just a big, strong, really plays a run as well as anybody in our league.
You notice that some of them are so tight you can't get your hands on them. You can't grab a hold of the jersey. This is one of the ways they offensive linemen learn to block. They grab a hold of that jersey.
Yep.
This guy's so thick you can't grab his jersey.
Well, and he's got really long arms. So what happens is when they fire off the ball, he gets his arms on the offensive center or the offensive guard, and because he's long, he's not very tall, but he's got really long arms and like I said, he's an NFL prospect. They like those
and
big
the thing
guys.
about him, it takes two guys to block him, and if it takes two guys to block him, there's got somebody running loose.
No, that's exactly right.
And of course, we're excited.
So, Coach, I know you went back and forth for kickers last year. What's your kicking game looking like?
Well, we finished up the last 7 games with Tyler Sumter being our field goal kicker, and that was after a real struggle. If you look at the games at the South Alabama game in particular, we missed 3 field goals within 25 yards, and you got to be able to make those in Division I football, and we didn't. Once we made the decision to make Tyler Sumter our full-time place kicker, he was extremely solid. The thing I like about Sumter is he's a competitor. Our players trust him because his work ethic is second to none. So Tyler Sumter's going to handle our punting and our field goal. Evan Lagasse will be the backup in those roles, and then Bratcher Underwood will start the fall as our kickoff specialist.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this right now. You take this guy. I've seen him, Mike, at practice. I mean, some of his punts are just unreal. I mean, he's a guy that can just flat-foot kick it 60 yards. I mean, he's got a great leg.
He is, and last year as a true freshman, he was up and down. I think think he understands our scheme better now. He understands that punting's just not about kicking it as far as you can, because you got to get height on the ball so we can cover it. Against Boise last year, he bombed 2 60-plus yard punts, but you can't cover them because they're line drives, and we got one return for a touchdown. And so I think he's got a better understanding of that, and I think he's going to have a great season for us.
Well, Coach, you got an All-American corner. I'm going to go ahead and call him an All-American because Marcus Jones out of Enterprise, Coach, is the real deal. He could play. He could play in the secondary, or he also probably could play wide receiver.
He could. He's about all the right things too. He's one of our leaders in our entire program, even though he's only been here going into his second season. He's not only pound for pound our best football player, but he's our hardest worker too. And he had so much success as a true freshman. Made an all-conference team, was on several freshman All-American teams, made one All-American team as a kickoff returner.
Did you realize he was as talented?
No, we knew he was good. You don't know
all Enterprise.
Yeah, and I really trust his head coach, David Faulkner, in Enterprise, and he told me about the intangibles, but you don't really know until you get them and you coach them.
Well, I was at the game at Coastal Carolina.
He took
and ladies and gentlemen, he looked like a boy taking candy a man taking candy from a boy. I mean, he made it look so easy, Coach. I said, here he goes again. My brother and I sitting there. I said, he's fixing to run another one back. Yeah. And the coach, and then they didn't kick it anywhere close to him after that.
They did, and he's really talented as a kickoff guy, and he really did a nice job up until the South Alabama game as a punt returner too, and that's something that we're going to try to grow his confidence and allow him to do that again. But he's a special player, and not only player wise, but just as a human being.
Yeah, well, that is great. And of course,
who's some guys that are coming in, high school kids that are coming in about to start practice that you think might see the fields starting this season?
Yeah, well, I'll start kind of on offense. At offense, we've got a guard named Jake Andrews we signed from Stanhope Elmore out of Millbrook.
Program, yeah.
He's going to compete for playing time immediately. He's had a great summer.
I've heard about him.
He's strong. He looks the part. He's state wrestling champion a couple times.
That don't hurt either.
No, it does. And he's competitive, and he'll definitely push for playing time. Gerald Bell is a junior college transfer on the offensive line. He's going to have an opportunity to play for sure. He'll be in the rotation, if not start. And then Travion Samuel is a graduate transfer from University of Louisville.
He's going to help us right away, don't he?
He will. He had a really good spring game, and he's a guy that can make plays. He
runs back kicks too, doesn't he?
He will. He'll be back there with Marcus on the kickoff return, and it'll give us a really balanced attack where they can't kick away from people. And then on defense, if at defensive tackle, Will Cholo, who's from Archer High School in Atlanta, one of the top programs really in that whole Atlanta metro area.
Archer High School.
Yeah, Archer, newer school in Gwinnett County.
I got you.
But he's going to have an opportunity to be in the 2 deep there at defensive tackle. Jarvis Hayes is a junior college transfer from Slocum, Alabama, that went to Etowamba. He's going to push to be our starting defensive end. Those are some guys that in this class that will definitely play.
How about the twins from Georgia?
Yeah, for Peach County, Kyle and Kevin Dixon, those guys are going to be sophomores. I think they're going to Kevin.
They were here last year.
Yeah, they were here last year, and I think they're going to be two of our better special teams players. And Kyle's going to back up one of our safety positions, and he'll play a lot, especially in our dime package. And Kevin's got an opportunity to push at our linebacker spot, push for being a starter.
Of course, Tron Folsom, your linebacker, is
leading tackler last year, and
is coming back.
He is good length, one of our better athletes on our football team, and I think he got a lot of confidence as year went by last year. He's also our leader over there on defense.
Yeah. Now you've got a great secondary coach too that all those players love, don't they?
Yeah, Al Pogue has done a great job. One of our best recruiters, and has a great energy about him.
All right, Coach, a couple of things. I'm going to let you go. And we appreciate your time. I know it. We appreciate your time. We've got a couple of things. All right, when the recruits go out, they say, he's not going to be there next year. He's going to go to the SEC. Coach, you have that going against you every time somebody goes up against you and says, well, that's fine and good, but he's not going to be here next year. What do you say?
I just say a couple things. I think there's two types of coaches: you get fired or getting hired. So I'd rather be on the one that's getting hired list than getting fired. But here's what I tell them: is I think that you always choose a school and a program more so than you choose a coach.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: and it's the nature of the business, and it's much more frequent at assistant level than it is at the head coach level. There's going to be turnover. So I think here's what I tell them about Troy: is Troy is always one. If you want to know what the
And
future
you
looks
said that
like,
on national
Yeah.
television yesterday.
yeah. Troy's always won at every level, and you look at what our administrative, the support, whether it's Dr. Hawkins, whether it's Jeremy McLean, our athletic director, the support is second to none, and we've built a program that's sustainable.
Yeah.
So regardless, and I plan on being here, Mike, because I really like it, but regardless if I'm here or not, this is a program that's going to be sustainable. And what I mean by that is we recruited really well. The North End Zone project is complete. We'll move in here in a couple
And
weeks.
Coach, it's beautiful. And Coach, you know, I've never been able to. I've always been able to walk through a crack, but boy, that place is like a prison, Coach. It's like a prison.
Yeah,
I know very few people have seen the inside of that place, and of course, I know you have. How does it look?
Well, it's going to be tremendous, and it's been a long time coming. You know, the project's it's taken a while. You know, I took this job in December of 14, and we started this project in March of 15.
Yeah.
And just from a planning, and now, you know, being on the cusp of moving in, and we'll move in here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time.
You know, the visitors used to have to. Well, I think I used to figure it up. They used to walk about a mile or two back and forth from the stadium. To where they dressed. Now, where they dressed in your old dressing room?
They're gonna when we make the transition, they're gonna dress in our old locker room, and they'll still come in. Now they're gonna come in the way they used to. They're gonna come back and go around the visitor side entrance.
Yeah, I got you. And of course, I've been in there. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it many times from the outside, and I've been up close and personal. Aesthetically, that is one of the most beautiful stadiums in college football.
It is, and I think that's really it's one of the things that sets us apart. Obviously, it sets us apart from some of our other similar programs in our state. We have an on-campus stadium, but if you look at just at the Group of 5 level, this project and then bowling in our stadium with the jumbotron and all the things that came with that is I think it makes us one of the top football facilities in really all the Group of 5.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's going to be. You've made things exciting, and of course, I love the way you coach.
Coach, what you've done more than anything is the community is really bought into your program, and you've been a big part of the Troy community. And I hear people all the time talk about what your kids do, and from going out with season tickets.
That's right, exactly.
Taking pictures with season ticket holders to just doing stuff.
Exactly right, exactly right.
It's really amazing what you've done with the program.
Well, I appreciate that, and we've had a lot of support. I think that our marketing. I think Jeremy McLean and his staff from sales and marketing, and they've done a great job promoting our program. And then I think also if you look at our leadership in our city, from our mayor to city council, Mayor Reeves has really put a lot of support behind our program. And I think the town-gown relationship has probably never been better, and that's really important. And the city is really rallying around us. And I think really the city and the county, we can even take it another step.
Yeah.
And because we really, when we talk about our fan base, we always start right here in the city of Troy and Pike County, and then we grow outward. So, this is an important area, and like I said, my wife and I enjoy being a part of the community. We got three children, a 10-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old daughter, and a 3-year-old son, and our 10 and 7-year-old are about involved in about as many things as you possibly can be. Yeah, so.
Of course, on a sad note, we lost Earl Griffin. You folks in Ozark know exactly who Earl Griffin was. Was the oldest living Troy alumnus.
Yeah,
and of course,
sad day.
I knew him well.
Yeah, sad day when Judy called and let me know. And Earl was he was the oldest living football alumni, and he was really supportive of Troy University and our football program, and was at nearly every event that we would host.
Well, let me tell you back to what Mike said about you being not only involved deeply with your athletic, with your football program, but you're also very conscientious about your, working with the public. A friend of mine told me this spring. They said, "Tell him that I think he's as good on the field. I mean, off the field as he is on the field. When you can bring all those players back, Michael, I want you to hear this. And I had a guy tell me, he said, I didn't even know they even knew who I was, Mike. They called, not only they called my name out, told everybody when I played, where I was from, whatever. Your group had done a bunch of research, and every player that came back, they said something about, and it made them feel like somebody. And that's why these former players are. Former players are sensitive. They want to be remembered. You know that.
And I think that what a lot of times, because nationally, we've risen our profile nationally since going to Division I, and I think that sometimes, we've had so much success at the NAIA level, at the Division II level, and then the 1AA level. I'm very quick to point out that Troy didn't just start playing football in 2001 or 2004 when we went bowl eligible. I mean, that's, we've been playing football for a long time, and I think sometimes those guys that played at the lower levels at the NAIA Division II or Division I AA, FCS now, I think they feel like that maybe they've been forgotten, and that's not the case. Very proud of our heritage. That's one thing that we're doing better. As far as our football alumni, it's something that we've got to continue to grow. We have not arrived yet on that. We've got to continue to grow and get our alumni back involved.
Now, another one of the great things about the facility, of course, the Stadium Club. I don't think you can beat it. It's great, and that's where I sit, and I love it. But the new end zone will allow for some real good places for players, ex-players to gather before the game and things like that.
Yeah, we've got a little over 400 seats that are included in the North End Zone project. It's great seats, a new club level there, and we're going to do some things. We've got our alumni game in week 2. We play Florida A&M, and that's going to be our football alumni weekend. That's going to be fun. And we're going to honor our 68 national champions then too.
Well, you open the season against Boise. Everybody, of course, right now, since the way I look at it, Arkansas State's in the top 25 too now. But with Boise, Nebraska, and now Appalachian State, 3 real tough challenges there. And then, of course, you got to go to Appalachian to play them. And anytime you got to go to Georgia Southern, that's not much fun.
Yeah, it's not. I think if you look at our league, our league is better now than it's ever been. We've got 10 teams. I think the administrative support in the Sun Belt Conference has done a great job. I think if you look at the quality of coaches from 1 through 10, it's impressive. Our schedule's tough. We open up with Boise, and I think Boise's the premier program in the group of 5, and we did not play very well last year.
Well coached and a classy coach. I tell you, I saw a lot of footage after that game. Of course, about quarter. Now, what I'm saying is we didn't play well offensively. Defensively, played very well.
Played really well defensively. Did not show up on offense or special teams, and that's why we lost the game. But we opened up with 2 home games for the first time in a really, really long time. Yeah, and two games that our fan base should be excited about. Boise, national program, nationally ranked team coming to Troy. Alabama doesn't play in the state of Alabama that weekend.
That's right.
All right. Auburn doesn't play in the state of Alabama that weekend. So I think it's a huge opportunity for us to really set the single game attendance record at Troy in that Boise game. Then we come back and play Florida A&M in week 2. And that's a game that our fan base is excited about. It was a rival in Division II and at the 1AA level, and they're going to bring one of the best bands.
Oh yeah,
you talk about the sound of the
pageantry is going to be
our band and their band. They might put on a better show than football. Then we go to Nebraska, tradition-rich program, and it's Troy and Nebraska have a history. I think it's the first Division I football game that Troy played, and so it's one of the best venues in college football. But the 2 games that I look at that I think are going to be pivotal in our schedule is when we go to Louisiana Monroe in week 4. And
they're going to be better too.
They're going to be really.
They've always played us well, haven't they?
Yeah, they're going to, and we have not played there very well in Monroe. I don't think Troy's won since 2001 in Monroe. We've had a lot of really good football teams. So, and you'll have to check my history on that, but I think that game on the road is pivotal, and then going to Georgia Southern in week 10 is going to be a real pivotal game as well.
And if you're going to play Georgia Southern, you'd much rather play them first or second game of the year than on into the year because they're going to get better.
They are, and they're a young team, and I think they've hired really well over there, and they're a team that I think is going to be. Those are 2 really pivotal games on our schedule.
Mm-hmm. And before long, Texas State's going to get
They're going to be better, yeah.
because they're a huge school, Coach. They're bigger in Alabama and Auburn.
Yeah,
they're a big school.
They are, and there's a lot of football players in the state of Texas.
And then going to South Alabama.
What's your opinion on playing the midweek games? Does that bother you, or is it? I mean,
I think it's what it is.
You feel like it's a good thing for television.
Tuesday night, Coach. On Tuesday night, the 23rd of October, you got to play at South Alabama. If we can't get fired up for that one, we can't get fired up for anybody.
You're exactly right. I think the midweek games are what they are. I think is it a pain to prepare a 17 to 22-year-old on Tuesday? Yes, but I think the rewards are greater than the negatives, and the fact that we can't for Troy University. I'm just talking not our football program. I'm just talking about our university as a whole. To be one of the only schools in the entire country that's getting their brand, all right, over a 3.5-4 hour period on national television is huge. And I don't think you can replace that. Yeah, I don't think you can replace it.
And that Tuesday night, everybody be watching. And I hate to say this, in bars, restaurants across the world, Coach, you're on live right now on Facebook across the country and the world. Isn't it amazing?
Technology.
What technology can do, and you can promote your program on Facebook. Do you do any of that?
Oh yeah, we promote our programs on social media. You have to. Yeah. It's that's what the world is now. Yeah. And we have to take advantage of it. If you don't, then you fall behind.
Yeah. Coach, you were seen in 10 different apparel. Mike sells sporting goods. Mike, they were in 10 different apparels. Uniforms, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about, and they're colorful and they're good looking. Which ones were your favorites?
I like our Cardinal jersey. I like the traditional look. I leave it up to Cornelius Williams, coaches our receivers, and Ian Greer's our equipment manager. Those guys come up with the combinations. It helps in recruiting. I think I like our Cardinal Chrome helmet. I think one of the best things we've done from a branding standpoint over the last few years is just go to this tee, what I call the power tee, that's right here on my shirt, and it's I think it's becoming I think nationally known, and when recruits see that tee, they know that's Troy, and I think that's been a huge benefit.
Of course, Coach, we went Division 1A in 2002, I believe that's the case, and we said what we wanted it not only for the university, the football team to grow and get exposure across the country, but also the school was going to grow and the community was going to grow. Coach, we've doubled our attendance, doubled our student body. We've doubled pretty much our population. Division 1A football has been great for Troy, Alabama.
It has. It's been great for our university. I think if you look back, it's going to be one of the pivotal decisions in our university's history. It really is, and I think a lot of credit goes to those people that were on the bottom level that were really believers, and I'm thankful for them, and I think it's paid dividends for the university and for the city.
I think it goes back to the point of kids see us being high school kids out of high school are seeing us to be bigger and better. The band's going to march 400, Coach.
Yeah, we're proud of those guys, too.
They
do a tremendous job, no doubt. They work extremely hard, and I tell you, they are some of our biggest supporters, and we support them a lot, too.
Well, the new end zone, Coach, it's going to keep the noise.
Yeah, it's going to bounce off of it. It is.
The sound of south was blowing out the north end.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah, you're exactly right.
But it's going to help you. You want crowd noise, don't you?
No, without question. You want it to be a difficult place to play, and it's going to be a more difficult place to play because the sound's going to stay in.
Now, I'll tell you what.
What's your opinion on the championship game? There's a chance we could host a championship game later this year.
It is huge. Yeah, I think that we had to move to a championship format because every other Division I conference had done so, and I thought we had a pseudo-conference championship game, an unofficial conference championship game last year in the first Saturday at Arkansas State, and that was a big-time environment there. So that's something that we're definitely working for. We'd love to be able to host the inaugural game, and that's something that is going to be huge, really a huge goal for all the Sun Belt team players and coaches.
Yeah. But, Mike, the Appalachian State game could be huge at the end of the league. I can see everybody getting on their cars and driving to the mountains, Mike.
Well, I hope that
Boone, North Carolina.
I hope we just get. People ask about that at media days. I hope we can just play well enough to make that game meaningful.
Exactly.
I hope we can get to that point where that game really means something.
Nothing bigger could happen than for Troy to play be the host team of the Sun Belt Conference playoffs. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that'd be huge.
That'd
It'd be
great.
not only great for, it'd be great for this
Yeah.
whole area.
Well,
And-
Coach, I tell you, but with that noise, you know, being able to keep some of that noise in the stadium, that fires your team up, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, and we've really over the last 2 years have made Veterans Memorial Stadium one of the top venues in the Group of Five. You look what we're doing from attendance. Our student body's been tremendous. They've
Yes,
stayed
sir.
and they've
They
been
really
loud.
have.
They've got.
I don't
behind
know
our
what you're
program.
doing, and I know some of the people that Jeremy has hired. I mean, those guys are great. Those two guys are great.
They've done a good job. But our student body, our Student Government Association, and fraternities and sororities, all our Greek life have done a great job supporting us, and so it's fun. Mike, I gotta run to
Yeah, I know
to a
you do.
meeting.
Coach, one quick thing.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, back when I played and I was a football player, I think they gave me an extra roll. Now you can sit there and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. The food, that's a big difference in back when I played and present day. The food is fantastic.
Yeah, well, nutrition's a huge piece, and so I think the two things that we really tried to reward our players with ever since that I had the opportunity to be the head coach is we really try to put an investment in the nutrition piece of it and the equipment piece of it, and from a gear standpoint, and really those. You talk about young men that 17, 22, those are things that are really important. They want to eat well, they want to look good. And so, you know, our nutrition, we've really upped our budget. We've tried to really.
And this is talking about milkshakes and high protein
snacks,
type.
protein shakes, and really putting emphasis on breakfast. And we do a training table now. So we put
Mike, they even serve food in the athletic building, don't
We
you?
do.
I mean,
Yeah, we
you know
sure
what
do.
I'm saying. These guys are gonna get fed. There's no question about it.
They should not be hungry.
Yeah.
That's
Coach,
that's
one thing
Good
quick.
luck to you.
And
Yeah,
of course,
appreciate
the tickets to Troy games, Coach, are probably as reasonable as any in the country. Anytime you can buy a season ticket, Coach, for 6 ball games for $60 a season ticket, that's unheard of.
Yeah,
Coach.
it's a great buy. What I think that we're doing maybe better than a lot of people in the college football is being family friendly. It's a setting where you can come in and park, close walk to the stadium, ton of tailgating opportunities, but a lot of events for your family. The young people can get up close and personal with our team better than they can at some of the bigger venues, and so we're excited. We got a great home schedule. Mike, I appreciate all you do.
Coach,
for
one quick
for us,
thing
too.
though. One quick thing. I want everybody to hear this. 2 hours and 15 minutes before every game, there's a Trojan walk.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach, you know, I'm a chill bump guy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you are or not, but when you see those giant crowds at the walk, isn't that good for your kids?
It's unbelievable. That's you talk about one of the better feelings when the cheerleaders lead us and the Sound of the South and is playing. And we have a huge crowd, and there's no better setting in college football than on that tailgate terrace right there. And
So the Trojan walk is always important because the kids, for your players, you want your players to, hey, reach out and touch them if you want to. But those kids, you can see in the eyes, it means a lot to them.
it means a tremendous amount to them. I tell you what, it's huge for recruiting. We bring every one of our recruits to visit for a game. They come to that event, and nothing shows the support and the love of Troy football like that.
No question about it. Coach, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
man. Appreciate
you coming, and of course, he's busy. We'll be back for more of Today in LA right after this.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
Never know how. Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time. Know-how, Napa know-how. The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Back to our show, and ladies and gentlemen, you got to see Neil Brown in person, and man, what a great interview I thought it was, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was laid back, and we got him for about an hour, and you don't get a head football coach with that kind of time much, but I think he pretty much went through everything, and we're really excited about the coming football season. And boy, if you can't rally behind a guy like that, you can't rally. He loves this community. Like he said, I don't really want to go anywhere. He said, I love it here. But you know, he's a great young coach, one of the best in America, and he's got the record to prove it. 25-5 over the last 2 years. That's a pretty good record, I would say, for a young coach. Of course, the football season's just around the corner, and you can go to the ticket office. The ticket office is located at the Trojan Arena, and you can go by and buy your season tickets. And for $60 for 6 home games, that is a steal if there ever was one. We want to say good morning to our good friends at Southeast Alabama Gas District in Andalusia, and of course they got offices all over the Wiregrass. Big office right here in town, and of course I use gas quite a bit at my home. Jim Skinner, Honda in Dothan, my good friend Garnet Rigsby, a great friend of mine, and also Scott and Lana Hartley at Town and Country Flooring, and they're big into the grills. Man, they've got that new grill that's out that is making the green grill. I will tell you, this new grill is something. Drop by and see them. They're located right next to the State Farm agent on the bypass right here in town, or directly across the street from First Troy Bank Trust Company. Sosta's Restaurant, and of course they're open today. No buffet today, but they've got delicious meat and three. You can order from the menu. They've got fresh oysters. You can order fried oysters at lunch and fried shrimp at lunch. They've got great sandwiches. The food is just great at Sisters, and of course we appreciate them very much. I want to mention also Cahaba Bank. My good friends at Cahaba Bank are building a brand new facility just within the Publix area, and of course Grady Capps has been in the banking business a long time, good friend of mine. Cahaba Bank, and of course they are already in business on South Brundage Street, but they'll be in business in a big way very soon when that building's completed. Cahaba Bank of Troy. I want to mention also our good friends at Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got another state champion in baseball. And ladies and gentlemen, it belongs to the post-70 baseball team coached by one of the bright young coaches in America. And of course, Hickson has done a great job, Rush Hickson, with this team. Post-70 cruises to their 3rd straight state championship in American Legion Baseball, ladies and gentlemen. This is not kitty cat baseball. This is big-time baseball at the amateur level. Of course, they won a 10-6 victory over Tuscaloosa Post 34. Do you remember when Tuscaloosa Post 34 used to dominate that the American Legion baseball? Well, hey, not anymore. Post 70 finished the tournament with a perfect 4-0 record and will head to Asheboro, North Carolina for the Southeastern tournament. And this Southeastern tournament, if they can get through it, then they go to the Nationals, which is huge. Let me tell you, American Legion baseball is big all over this country, and they're doing some things that no other Troy team's ever done. It felt good, said Russ Hickson said. I told everybody the other day that wins never get old, and that was a big win. Despite the tournament 2-0, Hickson believes that his team didn't play up to expectations, but they beat Shelby County in the semifinals 10-0. That's the Birmingham area, and they also came back and let's see some other teams. Of course, they beat a very good team from Tuscaloosa, and a good picture of that team, American Legion team, and a lot of these players were from Charles Henderson and Pike Liberal Arts and Goshen. There were some great players on both teams, and I'd like, let's see if I've got a list of the players. If I do, I'll let you know who they are. But of course, it's great baseball in Post 70, and I tell you, we need to watch this thing closely. Again, they play on August the 8th, and they will take on South Carolina runner-up. It will be a rematch of a game earlier this season when Post 70 lost to their South Carolina foe. So it's going to be a lot of good baseball ahead of us right here. I want to mention, of course, the swimming team, Troy's Tiger Sharks swimming team finished their league this week, and they had 22 swimmers to qualify for the state meet and in Birmingham, and Addison Bruner, the superstar, came in first place in both the 50-meter fly and the breaststroke in Birmingham, earning her the top spot in the state in her age group. So Addison Bruner, who's been on this show, and her dad works here for Troy Cable, and I'm going to try my best to get her to come on our show. She's a young swimmer, ladies and gentlemen, that is really, really good. And we don't talk about swimmers as much around here now, but Tiger Sharks have some outstanding swimmers. One of them is Nicholas Slokenkopf, if I pronounce that name right, and he swam the 100-meter freestyle in 2.87, which is really, really good. And Bryce Tatum finished in the 50 freestyle with a time of 25.45. And Hunter Ross completed the 50-yard breaststroke nearly 12 seconds faster. So, again, the Tiger Sharks, successful trip to Birmingham, capped off another great year. And Coach Christen and her team should be congratulated, no question about it. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Come see us at Don Walker Western Wear. From boots, jeans, and jackets to shirts, hats, and belts, we're your headquarters for Western wear for the entire family. With the largest selection of jeans in town, we carry famous brands like Wrangler, Levi, Carhartt, Ariat, and Cinch. We've also got plenty of styles of boots to choose from, including Justin, Lucchese, Ariat, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Dan Post, and Corral. So come on into Don Walker Western Wear, located on Highway 231 in Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
So remember, if it doesn't say Scott Westfall, leave it you and me, you don't want it. Well, I'll try to set up a, ladies and gentlemen, we missed out on the picture day at Pike Liberal Arts, but we hope to get a camera over there before too long and let you know who's playing football and cheering and doing some other things very good at Pike Liberal Arts School. We mentioned the Tiger Sharks, but ladies and gentlemen, the Bells, the Troy Bells, who we had them on our show just a week or so ago and selling cakes and pies and made them some money. Well, they went to the state tournament or the national championships in Alexandria, Louisiana, and they ended up losing 7-0 to the host team, to Mississippi on Monday evening in Alexandria, Louisiana. The loss for Troy ended the Bells season after winning every game heading into the tournament. The Bells' only 2 losses of the summer came in their final 2 games. And of course, Max Bundy did a great job with this team. The team finished with 2 hits by Emily Williamson and Mackenzie Kane. Of course, the Bells did well, played well, and of course their coaches Brian McClendon and Jeffrey Henderson were very pleased with the way they played. So their season's over with, but hey, they went to the World Series. That's about as good as you can get if you're playing any sport. If you play and lose in the World Series, that's not bad, I promise you. I want to mention some other things going on with Troy University, and of course Charles Henderson starts their practice tomorrow officially. They'll have their practice going on, and football will be with us before you know it. I think the 17th, I want to say, is the date for the Charles Henderson High School Pike County game, and we'll be talking more about that game very soon. But they're in full-fledged practice now, and of course Goshen will have their picture day coming up very soon. We'll try to get down to Elba and Zion Chapel and a few other places along the way. So we hope to have some good viewing for you as we introduce you to these outstanding young people that are participating not only in football but in cheering and other activities coming up this fall. Of course, Coach Neil Brown was very nice to come by and tell us a little bit about his football team, and it's going to be a great year, and it's going to be a quarterback battle between Caleb Barker, 6'1", 206 out of Decatur, Sawyer Smith, quarterback, 6'3", 219 out of Cantonmont, Florida, which is right there at Pensacola, and so that's going to be a real battle. Of course, a lot of good faces out there for Troy that are outstanding, and it looks like another great year, but you know, the other teams are getting better too. You know, of course, Troy opens the season against Boise at home, 5 o'clock kickoff. Then on September the 8th, they play at home, 6 o'clock kickoff against Florida A&M. That night, they're going to honor the 1968 national championship team with Sam Bird in that team. The Nebraska game is at 11 o'clock at Nebraska. I'm thinking about going to that game, getting in my car and driving on up there. I could catch a plane, and I might do that too, but I'm going to that game. You know why I'm going to that game? Because I think we can win it. I really do. September 22nd at ULM, Louisiana Monroe. They'll be much better, and that'll be a tough ball game at Monroe. Then Coastal Carolina comes to Troy on the 29th. I need to get my calendar out here to make sure what days those are, because Troy plays several games midweek. And Mike Amos and I were talking about that recently. But let me get on over here, and I'll be able to find it in a second. I think I'll be able to find it on Laid Back Television at its very best. Let's see here. Well, gosh, what am I doing? Let's see. Maybe I won't be able to find it. Let's see. September, I got it. All right, now. The first is against Boise on a Saturday. The 8th against Florida A&M on a Saturday. The 15th against Nebraska is on a Saturday. And then the 22nd against Louisiana Monroe, that's on a Saturday. I'm going to flip pages here a second to October. On the 29th, excuse me, let's see here, the 29th of September, we play Coastal Carolina at Troy, so that's on a Saturday. And then October the 6th, October the 4th on a Thursday night, Troy plays Georgia State in Troy. And then on the 13th, that will be on, and then on the 13th of October, we're on the road, on the road at Liberty, which is a long ways up in Virginia, but it'd be a beautiful trip right in the middle of foliage, driving up to Virginia. That would be a beautiful trip. And then on the 23rd of October, which is on a, let's see here, 13th, and 10 days later on the 23rd, on a Tuesday night, Troy plays at South Alabama on a Tuesday night. That'll be on national TV. On November the 3rd, which is another long wait, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more days, and you play on the 10th, play at Georgia Southern. And then on the 17th of November, which is a Saturday, that's Thanksgiving weekend, you play at home against Texas State. And on the 24th, in Boone, North Carolina, we play Appalachian State. That's Thanksgiving weekend, excuse me. That would be Thanksgiving weekend. And then hopefully the next week, which will be on December the 1st, that Troy would play at Troy for the conference championship against the West Division winner or champion. So there's a playoff this year for the outright Sun Belt Conference Championship, and that will be played on Saturday, December the 1st, at the home team of the team with the best record. So that'll give you a rundown of the schedule, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one, and you need to go ahead and buy your tickets now and get ready for a huge football season. And it's going to be fun until your daddy takes your T-Bird away. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed our show. Well, we'll run this show numerous times during the season because of Coach Brown, and of course we got a good look at the Troy team coming up this fall, and we've got the schedules now, the rosters now, so it's going to be a lot of fun getting ready and talking about high school football. We'll have our coaches shows every Wednesday, and so far we'll have Goshen, Pike Liberal Arts. We'll have hopefully Elba, and of course hopefully Charles Simpson High School. We know that that will be a part of our show, so we look forward to that. Hope you have a great day today. It's great to be a Trojan. It's great to be alive, and it's great that football season is just around the corner. Have a great day. We'll be on again today at 1:30. Tell your friends they can see this interview with Coach Brown today at 1:30. Have a great day.